Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing one of my all-time favorite watches, launched in 2010 in a limited edition of 500 pieces. This is the platinum and ceramic Ulysse Nardin Executive El Toro Perpetual Calendar GMT, a timepiece that is larger than life at 43 millimeters, but wears easily because of the effective camber or curvature of the case, even on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. A GMT plus-minus system allowing you to easily toggle between time zones. You have that second time zone capability, a grand date, and a bi-directional Ludwig Axelin design perpetual calendar. And the watch isn't thick. At 14.6 millimeters thick with a sloped bezel, it will slide underneath most cuffs, including dress shirts. And the curved case, 52 millimeters lug-to-lug, wears more compact than that because it arcs around your wrist at both sides rather than flaring out stridently the way straight lugs can. It is an unusual shape, and Ulysse Nardin always had the integrity as a brand to avoid pandering to common styles and common tastes, going in its own direction, marching to its own drummer, and creating watches that are instantly recognizable as products of the manufacturer. There is a lot of mass here, as this is a platinum watch, 43 millimeters of considerable size with full integrated lug extensions. Now the strap is also integrated. As you can see, this is a proprietary system and it's a secure one with screws fixing the strap in place. Even if you're engaging in violent sports, this strap is going nowhere. No spring bars here. It's integrated in that the strap matches the slope down of the lugs, but also the tapering of the lugs. Double striations to add definition. You can see a frosted finish, sheer sides. It is a cuttable strap, and that on both sides, so you'll get to decide exactly what sizing is right for you, and then it will be precise. You can see that the exterior of the clasp is ceramic. This is often the part of the watch that on lesser timepieces would just be a piece of black PVD, titanium, or steel. No, full ceramic used to prevent desk diving scratches of the vulnerable clasp body, and then a titanium double swing arm clasp inside. It's also quite secure because it's a twin trigger release system, as you can see, so it can't pop open. It's a sequential close system and quite secure, so you also have alternative anchoring points. Once you've cut, you can actually move the stationing inside the clasp for further fine-tuning. Jumping back to the case, you can see it's all of high polish and quite striking. On the crown side, note the complexity of the crown construction and finish. That's the attention to detail that Ulysse Nardin renders on its crown, and it is a screw-down crown. All of this 100 meters water resistant. The pushers for the GMT plus-minus system are both ceramic for scratch resistance, and the bezel itself, featuring the 24-hour scale for the second time zone, also ceramic to act as a scratch-resistant shield for your watch. Turn it over to the 9 o'clock side and you can see fixed by bolts and satin finished with engraved and inked individual numbering. Just like the vintage Ulysse Nardin deck clocks or marine chronometer navigation instruments, you have that individual number plate fixed by screws on the side, and you can see they are oxidized screws. This is how the GMT plus-minus system works. It allows you to quickly and easily swap your time. And you can see how it works perfectly in either direction. And if you watch the double-digit date, you will note how you can drive the date forward or backwards as you travel across the international date line. You'll also note that the watch continues keeping time through all of this. So if you travel a lot, for instance, East Coast to West Coast in the US, or across the innumerable time zones of Russia, this is an ideal timepiece because you can easily make adjustments without accidentally budging the second time zone or the minute hand. Now there's a lot more going on here. Let's briefly note that the entire case in high polish has some remarkable lines, especially the double fluting on the edge of the lugs. I adore that detail. I also adore the sloping flange that features the black outlined individual lume pips. So this is an easy watch to view at night. It is a full service sports watch, blackened 12, applique at 12 o'clock, and then you have a black polished 6 down at 6 o'clock for exquisite contrast. You have lovely Côte de Genève waves across the dial base, and then you can see the namesake of the watch, the El Toro, the bullhead-like structure that acts as a bridge held in place by fire-blued screws topping the perpetual calendar mechanism, which, as you can see, has its own blue fixing screws and visible dial side discs. Now I'm going to unscrew the crown and demonstrate the system, which was developed by former Vatican clock restorer and Ulysse Nardin complications maestro Ludwig Axel, now of Ox und Junior. You can see that with the perpetual calendar system in setting mode, I'm able to set the watch in either direction with no hazard to the movement. Also note how I'm driving the month forward and backwards. There is also a year. You have the decade and you have the year. You have the day, the date, the month, the year, and a comprehensive year. So this is a system that is very user-friendly. And look at the attention to detail with the white on black printing for the discs for high contrast, the multiple layers of the dial that you can see well in terms of overlapping discs from this angle, and even the blued screws fixing the hand-finished frame for the double-digit date. This is as good as it gets, and it's one of the few perpetual calendars that does not need to go back to Switzerland in the year 2100. Turn it all over and you have a blackened DLC-coded manufacturer movement. This is the Ulysse Nardin caliber 32. You can see the magic lever winding system, bidirectional, underneath a skeletonized bridge. You can also see there's a lovely inlay featuring the Ulysse Nardin anchor, and then a double finished white gold mass. Beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, and thus very, very precise, measuring intervals as large as a decade or as short as a second. The timepiece is also attractive in that this 34 jewel movement is all Ulysse Nardin. So while the company has used customer calibers in the past, what you see here is entirely of Leloc, and it is handsomely finished. As you can see, that rustic finishing on the rotor itself, the fire blued screws, and the Côte de Genève in circular fashion across the bridges. You'll also note there's an engine turned perlage on the base plate. This is a timepiece with both pedigree and pulchritude. Handsome to look at, distinctive, rare, exquisitely heavy and massive on the wrist, resilient with ceramic and water resistance, and of course very practical with that second time zone and the perpetual calendar. See it and make it yours on the watch box. The Ulysse Nardin El Toro by night, plenty of lume, a true sports watch complication.